All right, folks, we're back, and we now go to the finals of the group. This is the last match today, the last best of 5, and this will determine who goes on to the round of 8 with Rogue here for the Korean group.
PvP. Oh, yeah. Excited? Super excited.
I would be if you guys didn't
Super
ban
duper
SOS.
Nah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, game number 1 in the finals. Of course, a big thank you to our sponsors, TING, for making all this possible. bttv.ting.com. If you go to this website, it'll let them know that you came from us, first and foremost, showing that their money is being well spent. But secondly, if anyone's considering signing up, you'll help us get a Season 3 of TING. We have a seasonal goal of 40 people to sign up, and if we don't meet that goal now, but say we meet it 3 months from now or 4 months from now, we'll still make Season 3 happen. But the sooner the better, obviously, so make sure to check it out. And without further ado, in the bottom right side of the map on King Sejong Station, we have the pink Protoss. It's Patience.
In the top left is the blue Protoss. He's super.
I'm a little bit torn between the two of these, mostly because I haven't seen either of them PvP much, if at all. But secondly, I think my head says super, but my heart says patience. But at the same time, my head also says patience, maybe.
Your head is indecisive.
A left brain, right brain dilemma.
I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna check stats first. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
You're not gonna go with your gut? You don't believe in your gut for
I don't
once?
have a gut.
Yeah, you do. I've seen it. Fatty. You got some fupa going on right there.
Wow.
I'm so
Excuse
sorry.
you.
I didn't mean any of that. I'm really sorry.
Excuse
That was
you.
exceptionally rude.
I don't make fun of my fat belly.
I'm sorry. It's just your cute belly is what you're supposed to say. So you messed that up. Way to go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, the pun for me overtook rational thinking. So I apologize.
You're so rude. Rubbing my tummy because it feels bad.
So, question in chat is why are American mobile phone costs so high? That's a great question, and a lot of it has to do with just bad business practicing, in my opinion, because it's the same way in Canada. It's the same way they throttle my internet. There's actually no physical limitation on the internet from everyone I've talked to. I have a friend who's a managing partner at Shaw, and I'm not supposed to know this stuff from him, but he's basically like, yeah, it's not that they're throttling people, but they put limitations to force people to pay. And I'm like, well, I don't understand why I can't just pay more. Like, I want to give you, I will pay fucking $300 a month if you'll give me better internet. Make it happen. It's like, well, unfortunately, because we don't have that as a public package, we can't cater to just you, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it's so infuriating knowing that there's so much, like, did you guys know, this is another thing, completely unrelated, but there's a proxy coming down. So, I guess this is kind of important and more important than my talk.
There's like 2 proxies.
Yeah,
It's
proxy
gonna
for
get
proxy.
interesting.
Well, actually, this proxy I feel out of Super is a little bit more dangerous than Patience's proxy. Patience's proxy has a better chance at killing a lot of workers, whereas Super's has a better chance at ending the game because it has a robo with it.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty damn good way to sum it up. But we'll see what happens. Photon Overcharge is used to deal with the Adepts. The scouting on each other, by the way, is very limited. In fact, Patience never got into Super's base. Super did get into Patience, as we just saw with that Adept. And that might really help him. No, yeah, maybe. His militia corps is back at home.
What's funny is if the Oracle actually were to come home right now, it would serve as good defense. Super's not going to have anti-air with this attack. The Immortal will die to the Oracle. The Mothership Core will help chip away at anything and everything. But if it's just Gateway units versus an Immortal, the Immortal's going to win.
Yeah, and Overcharges are mostly gone. Militia Corps really should be able to deal with this Oracle for Super. So I feel a bit better for him. He still has to wait for, I think, another Warp In and another Immortal, so Patience has some time to be like, huh, your main base is kind of bare looking. He gets in there, immediately denied.
It's 2 overcharges and almost the 3rd one ready to go. So yeah, that's where the Oracle come back home. It's probably going to be a big deal. He did actually make some Stalkers with this, interestingly enough, but that force field's got to be good, and it is. It takes the Immortal out of the fight. Small edge now to Patience, but albeit temporarily.
Yeah, that was a cool force field. But the second Immortal is now going to join in, and I don't see a second Sentry being warped in here.
No,
Oh,
so
no.
I mean, he's trying to get his own immortal. Oh, this is cool. This stasis trap might help, actually. It's a bit of an oddball, but it keeps them from getting to the mineral lines, because there's building to the top, and they'd have to go through the south.
Yeah.
This, however, still doesn't look that great when you got to consider there's going to be an immortal up for super.
This is still really tricky. I don't know. The Oracle stasis trap is better than whatever else it was gonna do, to be honest. So I don't mind that. In fact, he's building another one on
Catch
the
reinforcements?
the reinforcement pass. So that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
the Robo's under attack, though, so he's got to pull the probes into this. He does start pushing this back, and if these get caught in the ramp, a force field might come down and cut the army. He realizes this at the last moment, decides not to go down, but then realizes, oh, that sentry doesn't have a lot of juice, so goes right back into it. 6 probes have died. Not too bad. Both players in still somewhat even worker counts.
Super. He gets his Nexus down, and Patience had to cancel his. Another good force for Patience. Oh, catches the other
both immortals.
Too.
Oh,
and his immortal's still alive.
Patience, so sick.
So, at the end of the day, this is going to be very awkward still, however. Like, Patience doesn't have a Nexus. He's going to fall behind on economy, but he's going to have the Robo. Eventually, Super's going to be pushed back, and then his Robo is going to die, and a Gateway.
He just saw the Stalkers get caught in this. I don't know if he saw that was only 2, but the point is he still knows that there's some, so these are freebies. Like, he doesn't have to chase after these. He can just camp the 2 that just got caught.
Yeah, this is looking better for Patience, I do believe. I think his army might just win out here in the same way that we thought Super's army would win out.
Look at that. The Immortals just tear right through this. We got Stalkers on the backside of this as well, so he's not even running away. Kills the Observer. That was kind of a cute move.
Yeah.
With the pylon being shut down too, those warp-ins were denied, and Super's going to tap out. Patience with a defense holds in game 1.
By the way, I checked their stats, and Patience is 2-1 in series score, but recently lost to Super. So take that as you will.
Not bad. What's the next map? I'll load up the intro.
Frozen.
All right. So very interesting game 1. Proxy versus proxy, not something you see too often. I was going to comment, though, the rant I was leading towards was the light bulb filament. Do you know about this? This is my favorite example of humanity just stifling itself.
Okay.
You cannot legally develop a filament in a light bulb that lasts longer than the ones that already exist. And the point of this is they want you to have to replace your light bulbs. So you have to keep buying from them. And granted, light bulbs aren't terrible. They last for a long time. Like, this is not like it's a detriment to humanity. But it's so frustrating knowing that someone could develop a light bulb that could burn and last for eternity. But you're legally not allowed to. Anyways, intro. We'll see you soon. So every time I read about Comcast throttling its internet or my limitations through data caps, because apparently I live in the Stone Ages, I always think to the light bulb filament. And just how stupid, greedy humanity is.
I have my own, I guess, version of that, right? Go to the intros first.
Alright. Well, after you then, madam.
Okay. In the bottom right, as the pink Protoss, he is Patience.
And his opponent in the top left is going to be none other than Super, both teammates.
Yeah. So you know the idea that's part Illuminati, part just proven, basically, that medical companies intentionally stifle progress or don't release new drugs that are better because they want to make money from the old drugs?
Okay, I've heard this.
Right, and it's like, I mean, you know, different countries have different rules, so, you know, some people argue that America's like worse than everywhere else. But anyway, that I really have always hated and slash believed in, because for me, I had like serious acne problems. I still do, but like I could not lay my head down without severe pain because of like how much acne I had. And they made me go through like so many different types of drugs, and some of them were like a little experimental. So like they bleached my face, I can't like tan my face anymore. And what happened in the recent year, the reason my skin is like pretty clear now, is I just swapped to a Korean regimen because they're like #1 in the world for like dermatology. And it really frustrates me that you could go to any dermatologist in America and probably never have them suggest that. They're always going to suggest like super expensive acne medication like Accutane and whatnot. And that's like, I think one of the biggest money makers right now is dealing with teenager acne.
There was that guy who, there's that whole controversy, right? Like he bought the drugs that were supposed to like, I don't know what it was, cure something, and he hiked up the price like a gajillion times over.
Oh, God, that guy. Oh my God, yeah. That is probably the most obvious example. But yeah, it's I think everyone has had that personal frustration, you know? I mean, I'm sure people have had family members with cancer that have been paying a lot of attention to that shit and you know, it's sucky, but that's what happens, I guess. Oh, on to brighter things like StarCraft 2, cooler things. Maybe another proxy from Super. Okay, who won that game? Patience won that last game. Okay, yeah. But Super had a chance to win the game. If it wasn't for Patience's really solid force fields, I think he would have. But that first one that blocked out the Immortal was sick, and then the second one that got both Immortals is just as sick. So I don't know if Super's attempted proxy will work out again.
This was an okay force field to start. He couldn't take on the two stalkers of the Mothership Core, obviously. This one stalker's too fast to catch, as he does have to police the ramp a little bit.
Yeah. That's kind of funny to watch Sentries chase a stalker. He's being stalked. Yeah.
Alright, so
Depth gets in here. That Mothership Core's a little out of position, so more probes going down.
yeah, 3 so far, 4, 5.
This is some serious damage.
It is, because
Oh, keep going.
you know, a lot of times we talk about these matchups, premier matchups, TVT especially, right, where worker kills aren't really that big of a deal. I'd say in PvP they are, though, because of just the expense of which each of the Protoss units cost. You don't have a 50 cost anything. The probe is the only thing that costs 50 minerals. Like, the cheapest thing you have as Protoss costs twice as much as every other race.
Zerglings are good, man. But yeah, Super, he's not looking so hot, but he didn't actually go for a proxy gateway, so it wasn't as dedicated as I feared. And, you know, he dedicates to it and then he just takes damage. That would be the worst. But he's getting his own Nexus. He is doing definitely more pressure, though. Like, these are a lot of stalkers, and Patience went for force fields, maybe expecting something like an all-in as opposed to his own units. And unfortunately, that pylon being denied means that the cannon isn't there, and his Nexus might just fall drastically behind that of Super's.
And, of course, with the workers having just been killed, it's not exactly ahead anymore. Does save the Nexus, though. The Guardian Shield's going to be enough to push this back, I guess.
Yeah.
Guardian Shield does reduce a pretty
like
considerable amount of damage for these small fights.
I was always so amused, you know, like the micro trainer that we sometimes, you know, played with subs. There's tricks to learning how to be good at that. It's not just that you're good at micro or not. You know, there's
micro
tricks.
tournament, yeah.
Yeah, and the one trick that was actually, I think, the most relevant to real life StarCraft 1v1 was the Sentry PvP battle. People would go for force fields instead of the Guardian Shield and not realize how good Guardian Shield is.
Yeah,
So
it's not so great when you've got enough to one-shot everything through it, but when small fights like this, nice catch on the stalkers with those force fields. This ends up being a great fight for Patience. He's actually going to go counterattack with it. It looks silly, but you gotta consider it's 3 times the army supply, half of which, for Super, isn't even at home.
Well, Super didn't get a denial on that base, and just losing all those stalkers is pretty damn bad.
He puts his pylon down so late, the Immortal may be able to just tear through this. No, it'll be up for an overcharge. I take that back.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if the timing was going to be right.
It's still a lot more units, and these units aren't even going to be able to help against an Immortal, so this is looking quite bad for Super. Not targeting the right pylon yet. Well, maybe one of the second pylon. There we go. The second one's going to go down just as quickly, though. Like, regardless of which one he targeted down first, this is looking very, very good.
And when
War Prism comes, oh, that's it.
This is huge, because a probe pull would normally get a surround on the Immortal, and you're like, okay, I can manage off this with some losses, but the War Prism will guarantee that never happens. They'll just scoop it up from 6 feet away.
Yeah, this is Patience, man.
GG.
Good. 2-0.
Good start to this series for him. We'll see if he can close it out with a 3-0, or if this will go maybe a little bit in Super's favor. We're going to play an ad break, though, before we get into Game 3, so we'll just say that and get into it, and we'll see you guys in 2 minutes and get it over with ASAP. Back to the StarCrafts. Alright, folks, we're back. We're just going to load right into the game. It's Frost. If you're just joining us on the cast, you're here at the very end of it, because this could be the last game today. Spawning in the top left side, he is up 2 points to 0 for the finals match of the Korean group in the round of 16 for the TING Open Season 2. $5,000 presented by TING for that prizing. And of course, make sure to check out bttv.ting.com. Spawning in the top left, it's Patience.
In the bottom, or no, top right, oopsie. Top right as the red Protoss. He is Super.
Okay, you know how, like, we wouldn't be able to do this with just one thing, but in general, there's ideas for things like a swear jar, right? Put $1 in the jar every time you swear. New girl has the douche jar, so like $1 every time you're a douchebag. We need to have something like those two things, but additionally, like every time we mess up the intro, and then we use that money for a subscriber tournament.
How much money would the Bly intro have gotten?
Less than me telling you to fuck off. I have that. You know what's funny? I have that stickied on my page, but a lot of people haven't actually seen us cast at DreamHack, which I find surprising. So I'm just gonna kind of drop that here as some advertising. If you guys missed it, when we were in DreamHack Austin, they let us on the main stage to cast, which was really cool. And I was super nervous, and it showed. And if you want to see me embarrass myself, the link to the VOD is stickied in my Twitter.
It really set the tone.
I mean,
But
we nailed it.
so-
I feel like we friggin' nailed it after that. It's like a goof
Yeah, I
to
think we
start
did a-
so bad.
Yeah, I think we did a very good job. People said we exceeded expectations, which is passing in the Harry Potter world. So
I was saying, exceeding expectations might not mean a lot either, considering everyone demands cash the game, and we did that. So they're like, "Oh, well, okay."
But that was funny was I was talking to Flo beforehand, and she really was not grasping the idea that we were invited to cast.
Yeah,
on
she thought we were just
stage.
chilling backstage, like.
Yeah, she thought we were casting the Tespa Cup because she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm casting with you guys, or I'm observing with you guys later." And I was like, "Yeah, like in 10 minutes." And she was like, "Starts in 10 minutes? Doesn't it start like in 6 hours?" And I was like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
And then she admitted afterwards that she was, she had no idea what was happening. But look here, Super now. Wait a minute, Super has been the one. Damn them Protoss
Yeah.
Koreans.
So, but here's the thing, right? Like, he's been the one proxying Robo. He's been the one using the Immortals, and it hasn't worked. Patience is still up 2-0. Now, there's some arguments that can be made. It's getting kind of late in Korea. Maybe he's just kind of phoning it in. Maybe he's hoping the proxies work, or maybe he just isn't that good at late game PvP. But either way, Patience is about to scout
no.
it. Boom. But the thing is, look at his build back at home. He's already kind of set for this. He's a little bit behind in these first units with those 2 Adepts coming in, but his Robo's going to time out. He'll have his own Immortals. This might not be too bad, because he's also got a Nexus on top of all of this.
But he doesn't have a Mothership Core.
Ah, you know what? That's true. Not that the Mothership Core itself is going to give super huge advantage, but it's that Patience lacks the Defender's advantage. No pylons, no overcharges.
So this is still very tricky. This might even be a better... The Nexus first, you would think a proxy would be better against, or the Nexus after Gateway, whatever it was. The greedy build, you think the proxy would be doing better against, but it still has that timer, you know, because Patience had scouted so quickly. He's still gonna have units to deal with it. He didn't go so greedy with his build. And, you know, worst case scenario, he does lose the Nexus, but then, you know, eventually pushes out and kills the Robo and Gateway again, so...
That pylon starts late. This actually looks a lot similar to the way Patience was attacking into Super last time, but now Patience is the one defending.
Yeah, motion forward. That one photon overcharge can buy so much time. It's a very key time, I guess. Not so much time. Adept shade through, and that's going to be what's a little tricky to send. You know, where does Patience send his units? Overcharge and the natural Adepts do transfer into the main, but the Immortal is being targeted here by Patience, and I think if he just pulls the probes, that won't be as bad as Super losing his army.
Yeah, because he's going to maintain... Oh, he does lose the Immortal. He didn't need to lose the Immortal. That was a bit of a mistake there, but he does maintain that second base. So, I mean, the Nexus has recovery options where these probes are easily band-aided.
Oh, wait,
it's not so bad just yet.
Okay, the probes weren't mining, and that was a pretty big deal. Patience actually needs gas. He pulled it off of gas.
Oh no. I don't know if you realize this or not.
It's one mining probe.
He's going to warp in like 2 Zealots because that's all he can do. I guess he does have a little bit of gas for Adept, so it's not so bad, but he does, you're right, need gas. There's no extra Immortal coming out. This is really bad for Patience now at this point.
Yeah, the lack of an Immortal is... That's one thing he had in that other game.
What kills me is like that minor bit of miscontrol. He didn't need to lose the Immortal. He would have still had his from earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Hardened Shield comes back up, and it's so much more useful. He's looking to try and target fire the Immortal, and if the Immortal wastes any shots on the Adepts, that's so useful, but now the second Immortal comes, and if Super just target fires with it, I think Patience could have a lot of trouble here. Taking the fight on top of the ramp, not so bad. Never get that Mothership Core. I feel like that should have gone down earlier, but he's just going to tap out.
Alright, so Super eventually makes the proxy work here in game number 3. Score now 2-1, and not going out without fighting.
Dusk Tower is coming up next.
Okay, let me load up that intro. I mean, it's another 2-player spawn map. Do you go for the proxy? I mean, if you're willing to do it on a 4-player spawn map like Frost, you got to be willing to do it on Dusk, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's more like if you're doing it every single game, you're gonna continue doing it every single game.
yeah, that's certainly true too. Well, we're gonna hop into the game here in just a moment, as soon as everyone's ready and good to go. It's the last series today, so we don't want to hold this up too long. Mostly. I mean, I could cast this for 8 more hours, but it's the players, it's late in Korea, and we don't want to have them, unfortunately, suffer through too much. Just quick shout-outs to ourselves while we're waiting. I'm actually skipped the intro in favor of doing this, because we never really advertise ourselves. If you guys are enjoying the casting, or anything like that, obviously follow the channel and come back for more in the future, but follow us on Twitter while you're at it. We're really working on those Twitter follower accounts, guys, so at ZG Gaming over there, and at Riff_Kings right here. Big love for any Twitter follows we can get, because that is findingly, I found when we were on the initial road, we kind of jumped up, got 2,000 in a month or so. That wasn't so bad. Then the view bot or the Twitter bot thing happened. That was kind of frustrating. But now it's like a really slow gain, and there's like so many spam bots nowadays. So I can't begin to tell you guys how much I appreciate real Twitter followers. So please and thank you, I guess. My manners. But spawning in the bottom left, not to be kept at home, it will be the guy leading 2-1, the pink Protoss Patience.
Super early probe scout. Top right, as the red Protoss, he is super.
Yeah, definitely a probe scout. No way this is a proxy.
It's both, potentially.
Well, actually, what's interesting is it actually could be a probe scout, though, in all honesty. This might still turn around to put a pylon on his way out, but the big thing he's looking for is to see what Super's doing, as he doesn't quite, I think he goes for a gas still, even. But I was going to mention, just with how often Super's been proxying, this isn't a bad idea considering the theme of the series.
Yeah. Now, I'm thinking that he could also use this not as like a super early gateway robo proxy, but just like the Stargate like he did in that first game. That's so annoying.
The APM wars over this small... I don't think he realized that wasn't his gas. He just straight up put a probe in it. That... Or he was intentionally attacking it with one probe for no reason, I guess?
Maybe.
The
that is
shields
pretty funny,
regenerate, though.
I feel like it's been a while since we've really highlighted worker micro. Seems like such a thing of the past.
This gas steal wouldn't be so bad if it had half the health on the assimilator.
If you don't bring that up at the summit, I'll swear, boy. I'll swear.
Oh, it goes to steal gas. Ha ha. Actually, this is something people did for a while. You remember you'd mine the minerals, then mine the gas, then mine the minerals, then mine the gas, and you'd like waste 20 resources.
That was like I was saying, like probe micro, worker micro in general is just a thing of the past. It really felt like, that's what Huck, everyone loved them for originally, and his little heart probes, and then it stopped. And not even just the Legacy of the Void, like it was really falling off in Heart of the Swarm. But yeah, I do remember that. I remember being such a clever little shit. And then I gave up. I was like, this is too much work. I'm just gonna go home with my SEV. You done good. Well, this kind of forced Super into a Nexus build, but I'm not saying... I mean, he might have wanted to go into it anyway, but... They both go into a macro game instead of any of these cheeses. They've been both showing. And we're gonna see what their mid-game looks like. Their actual mid-game. Oh, sneaky probe. Oh, ninja probe. Ninja. He's going to provide high ground vision, potentially. I don't think he'd put on a pylon, but that would also provide high ground vision.
I guess he didn't see it. I didn't realize. Sorry, I was reading Boris's message. There's an update for the bot, so hopefully... I can't download that now because it'll cancel bets. But after the stream, I'll muck around and see if we can fix this part 2 problem. But pylon's going down for Patience. The mothership core flying over is looking to do some overcharges. This is going to be a big problem because Super's actually really late to respond to this.
Yeah, this is such a late overcharge.
That's going to snipe the pylon first and foremost, but secondly, probes potentially if he wants to focus fire.
Get the second pylon. Yeah, go for it. Go for it!
He does have enough energy to overcharge twice, but the mothership core should probably just recall, I'd imagine.
Uh-oh.
No, he just loses it.
They got the second overcharge off.
But it killed 5 probes, I guess, all things considered. I mean...
6, 7... No!
Nope. Not enough energy.
And the Adept didn't shade over there. Just canceled to go for the main probes, I guess. It's still getting probed, so I guess don't knock it. 10 probes? Come on.
Okay, but this is not a huge worker lead coming off the back end of it. And in fact, the third base has been plopped down.
That's true. He is getting me faster immortal, so he might be able to punish this third base. 2 more gateways on the way. That'll
These
put him
adepts are
above his
so
opponent.
annoying.
They really are. Stalkers just don't kill them that quickly. Yeah, you gotta remember, back in the beginning of Legacy of the Void, Adepts were the only answer, and then they changed their unit type and blah 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 blah. But because they weren't the best fighting unit, but they would live fucking forever. Curse jar. And killed all the probes. I remember those PvPs. Like, it was really just Adepts flying into each other's bases, or someone would try and counter with a Stargate, and that would win. Those were the days. Those were good old days.
Well, speaking of good old days, back then you couldn't expand like this because you would, it's just too much money to dedicate to that.
Good old days Legacy of the Void, or good old days with Liberty?
Both. Well, no, I was thinking, well, if anything higher, I don't know about Wings of Liberty, but...
Because Liberty didn't expand, bro.
There you
One
go.
base to win.
Early Legacy of the Void, there's a lot of problems where like you had this extra money, so you'd expand almost too quickly, and then in doing so, you get caught off guard. But these Immortals just gonna bust on through. No big deal. What's up, Stalkers? How you doing? Word
Yeah.
to your mother.
This is the century for it, but a worthwhile trade. And this is what I was talking about. Patience might just be able to really punish this third base. Now, Super
This,
loses the third, but then gets the DTs in. That could still be okay for him.
The pylons will finish. He'll have the overcharge to buy him sometime. We'll see if it's enough. At the same time, Patience might just walk past it and go to the main, though.
He's gonna have to back off from it. He has more reinforcements coming, though, so waiting for this isn't the worst thing in the world.
He turned autocast off on his barrier, by the way.
He did this before, remember? And then he would miss his casts.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of being able to control it, but it's don't lose it, right? But either way, he takes out the pylon. It's not a problem. Warp Prism on that front line. Well, the Dark Shrine's coming and the clock's ticking. It's still going to be really hard to actually stop this. Even one DT in this army, you think forever to actually kill it.
Yeah. He does have a Warp Prism, so it's not going to be about the DT for defense. It's going to be trying to kill as many probes as possible. The Observer could easily be made for Patience, but his Mothership Core didn't stay at home, and of course he's reinforcing on this side of the map.
Yeah, the Immortals is
might
busting
be it
through
anyway.
everything.
Yeah,
he still hasn't popped barrier on either of these Immortals, by the way, this entire game.
Huh. Hopefully he remembers.
It's like hard
Observer,
mode enabled.
Oh, okay. GG. We won.
He never,
GGs.
he never popped the barrier. That's kind of cool, actually, considering the victory. But GGs get called, and yeah, 3-1 for Patience, as he'll be the second place finisher in the group, and move on to the round of 8 with Rogue, which is going to be awesome. But that's going to end the broadcast for today. And I'll come to the conclusion here at the Korean group. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. Big love to Ting, sponsors, all that good stuff. Our sponsors as well for the channel, Yord, Corsair, G2A, Chairs for Gaming, and even Arcade Block. I say the question mark because we don't really know what we're doing with them. They're not good business people. That being said, they do still send us pretty cool stuff. I'm excited for whatever's in store next for it. But that brings us to a close. So Zombie Grub, thanks for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed your coffee. Is that worn off yet?
It's sitting in my stomach very uncomfortably.
I'm ready to just kind of pass out. This Red Bull did nothing for me. All the sugar and calories in there did nothing for me. I'm exhausted. So I guess we'll just end it here. So I know that you got the Amazon links. You want to talk about that really quick?
Sure, scroll down all the way down below on the Twitch page. You'll see Amazon links for your respective country, hopefully. And if you use that, it kind of like marks your Amazon shopping as giving a portion to me specifically. And it doesn't cost you anything extra. And it'd be really cool if you used it next time you shop.
Good guy Zombie Grub did agree, by the way, if she starts making millions of dollars off this, she would share a little bit with me. So that's nice. But yeah, I guess tomorrow, so this is a bit awkward, because tomorrow's supposed to be that wildcard group. And I'll have to figure this out within the next few hours before I go pass out in a nap. Because as it currently stands, we're still going through with tomorrow with Solar being disqualified. That being said, I'm trying to make this work so that we don't have to disqualify him and just move the group to a later date and play the round of 8 at a later date. But what makes this so difficult, guys, with DreamHack Valencia, the Blizzard Summit, WCS, IEM, like this whole month is taken by other events, so it's really difficult to find places. Not to mention Korea then also has the GSL, the SSL, Pro League, and all these other things. So I really don't want to disqualify Solar, but it's the fact that he only let me know like a day or two ahead of time that's made this a real trouble.
Mhm.
Like if he came to me a week ago and said, by the way, I forgot to tell you I got Pro League, like then I can work around that. But anyways, thanks for watching. Tomorrow we don't know what's going on, but the best way, honestly, to stay up to date for updates, guys, is not even going to be the calendar on the website for this one, because this is going to be such an on-the-fly thing on our Twitters. I'll be tweeting about it, she'll be retweeting about it, or she'll be tweeting about it, and I'll be retweeting about it. Either way, Riff_Kings, ZG Gaming, or BaseTradeTV. Follow one, if not all of us. And, yeah, just stay tuned for updates, because we really don't know what's going on with tomorrow's group. That being said, the North American group doesn't change at all. That's still happening on the 7th at 3 p.m. Pacific. There's no issues with that whatsoever, not that I'm aware of. And if any players come with me with problems at this point, I'm going to kill them. So thank you guys for watching one more time, and thanks for the support, and we'll see you later. We're going to host somebody. I don't know who yet, but make sure to give them some love, follow them, all that good stuff. But we are going to also run a rebroadcast because this was so early. So we're only hosting for a little bit. So make sure you give them love while you can. We'll see you guys later. Last set of ads to end the broadcast. Bye.
Bye.